Hello, my name is Pete Higgins, and today I'd like to talk to you about the development of learning for sustainability policy in Scotland. Since 1999, Scotland has had its own parliament for the first time for 300 years. The parliament can make decisions on a range of policy matters. Education is one of those. This means that education policy is distinctive in Scotland compared to England, Wales and Northern Ireland. In 2005, the Scottish Government introduced Curriculum for Excellence. The key purpose of Curriculum for Excellence is to build the capacities of young learners. The central purpose of the new curriculum is that it should help young people to become successful learners, confident individuals, effective contributors and responsible citizens. These four capacities are underpinned by the development of literacy and numeracy skills and a positive attitude to lifelong health and well-being. Now, Scotland has a long history of involvement and interest in the idea of sustainability. And there have been a number of philosophers in Scotland who have been foremost in developing ideas around the idea of sustainability and how you might educate to help people to understand it. Foremost amongst these was Sir Patrick Geddes, who in the early 20th century came up with the concept of thinking global and acting local, something which is now a famous slogan within the environmental movement. This long tradition has continued right through to the current day, including Scotland's major commitment to the United Nations Decade for Education for Sustainable Development, which finished in 2014. Over the past 10 years, there have been some significant policy developments in this area, including a major commitment to the United Nations Decade of Education for Sustainable Development. Building on the decade, in 2013, the Minister for Education accepted a set of recommendations from the Scottish Government's Learning for Sustainability Ministerial Advisory Group. The group defined learning for sustainability as a whole school approach that enables the school and its wider community to build the values, attitudes, knowledge, skills and confidence needed to develop practices and take decisions which are compatible with a sustainable and more equitable future. Further, the group decided that learning for sustainability must be a natural synthesis of education for sustainable development, global citizenship and outdoor learning. It is unusual for outdoor learning to feature in sustainability education, but it is included in the Scottish approach due to substantial research linking a positive attitude to sustainability with regular experiences of the natural world, where the focus is on understanding how our ecosystems and biogeochemical cycles are crucial for our survival. There are 5 section headings in the advisory report with 31 individual recommendations, and each section makes a major commitment. 1. All learners should have an entitlement to learning for sustainability. 2. Every teacher and education leader should demonstrate learning for sustainability in their practice. 3. Every school should have a whole school approach to learning for sustainability. 4. School buildings, grounds and policies should support learning for sustainability. And 5. There should be a strategic national approach to learning for sustainability. As required by the final recommendation, there is an implementation group which is addressing all the headline and individual recommendations. Whilst the values and leadership elements may be intuitively understood, teachers are expected to respect social, cultural and ecological diversity, and indeed to promote principles and practices which lead to responsible local and global citizenship. This is essentially learning for sustainability. The third major development, which took place around about the same time, was the development of a United Nations recognised regional centre of expertise in education for sustainable development for Scotland. There are about 150 of these around the world, and the one in Scotland is one of the few which is a nationwide regional centre of expertise. The centre was established with Scottish Government support, with support of universities and colleges and third sector organisations, as well as a broad sweep of community interest. Its purpose is to coordinate and develop sustainability practices across Scotland, and therefore has a fairly central role in many of the developments taking place here today. Brought together, these three elements represent a major policy development in Scottish education. This relates to the whole period of a young person's time in formal education, from the ages of 3 to 18. Consequently, schools and their teachers need to be sure that they are developing practices which are appropriate to the development of learning for sustainability. One agency which is significant in this process is the Scottish Government's Education Advisory and Inspection organisation called Education Scotland. Education Scotland has been, for some years now, developing resources and materials to support teachers in this process, and of course, inspection and assessment practices too. All of this is intended to come together to ensure the delivery of high-quality learning for sustainability experiences for all pupils in all of Scotland's schools. This all has an international context too. The purpose of the United Nations Global Action Programme for the next 5 years is to reorient education towards sustainable development and to strengthen education and learning in all agencies, programmes and activities that promote sustainable development. These are very similar to the Scottish ambition and also relate closely to the new UN Sustainable Development Goals, which were announced in 2015, to which the Scottish Government made an immediate commitment. These include Sustainable Development Goal 4.7, which includes the statement, by 2030, ensure all learners acquire knowledge and skills needed to promote sustainable development, including, among others, through education for sustainable development. In summary, the Scottish Government and the broader educational community in Scotland has taken important steps in ensuring that young people here can develop an understanding of sustainability and indeed the power to act. The very same skills that are required to understand a complex issue like sustainability can be applied to any other complex issue. Those skills, and perhaps in particular critical thinking skills, are very valuable, and as a young person moves into adulthood, they will be required to make a whole range of individual and collective decisions which are significant for their future and for the future of other generations, and indeed of other species. In essence, what it really means to be sustainable.